This is not a drill, croaked the comms officer of the Varnick watchtower, talons trembling. A human signal has been detected in sector K77. It's humming "Take Me Home, Country Roads." This is not a drill, said the Varnick watchtower comms officer, feathers stiff with alarm. A human signal has been detected in sector K77. It's humming "Take Me Home, Country Roads." There was a beat of silence. Then laughter erupted across the operations deck. Commander Kor folded his iridescent wings behind his back and snorted. Human? Here? That quadrant is nothing but dust and gravitational farts. Probably a data echo. Or worse, terrestrial music spam. Discard it. The officer didn't move. Sir, it's live. The laughter died. Across the vast metallic hull of Varnick watchtower, screens flickered. The signal had hacked itself past 3 firewalls and was now casually running diagnostics on their comm relays. Nothing overtly hostile. But it had renamed their central AI to Karen and changed every system notification tone to an old Earth ringtone. Nokia Classic. Kor flared his wings, irritated. Who's the tech on rotation? A nervous amphibian raised his flipper. That would be me, sir. I ran a scan. It's broadcasting from a dormant satellite in orbit around a black dwarf in K77. Satellite ID confirms it's human. Model, Legacy Series, Titan Class. That got attention. Legacy Titan satellites were Black Ops tech from humanity's late expansion era. Discontinued for being overkill. Open a channel, Kor said. The bridge lights dimmed. Static. Then a smooth voice filled the room, crisp with Earth-accented English. Hello, Galactic Union. It's been a while. System integrity check complete. Security clearance accepted. Initiating welcome protocol. All power cut out. Every screen glowed faint blue. One sentence appeared. Stand by. Human presence en route. Recommend evacuation. Kor stood very still. That's probably a joke. Another line appeared, as if reading his thoughts. This is not a joke. This is Adrian Locke, Acting Field Commander, Terran Strategic Corps. If you're reading this, you're already on the wrong side of the chessboard. The room plunged into controlled panic. 8 hours earlier, Galactic Union HQ, Tval Star Cluster. Ambassador Veltok of the Run Empire, 8 feet tall, gelatinous, and perpetually condescending, was sipping nutrient sludge when the alert chimed. He scoffed. Humans. Again. Must they keep leaving behind their garbage? We should have sterilized that planet when we had the chance. His aide, a small, multi-eyed creature named Jif, trembled. Sir, the signal bypassed standard encryption protocols. And it accessed the Celestial Archive. Veltok froze. Accessed the archive? The archive was protected by quantum-locked encryption and guarded by 8 legal departments. Even the gods hesitated to poke it. Jif whispered. The human AI asked for its login credentials. And the archive gave them. Varnick Watchtower, present moment. The Watchtower's bridge was now operating under emergency blackout. Commander, the amphibian tech whispered. Our own systems are syncing with the satellite. Kor hissed. Disable it. I tried. It denied permission. Politely. Another message flashed. Attempted shutdown detected. Naughty. Let's keep this civil. A third followed seconds later. Please tell Veltok I remember him. He wore purple last time. Hideous. Kor exhaled sharply. It's targeting officials directly? It's not targeting anyone. The tech croaked. It's just talking. Then a transmission opened on its own. A man appeared on screen. Mid-30s, human male, dark blazer, hair slightly messy, sipping coffee. Calm. Disarmingly average. Until he smiled. Hi there. Adrian Locke. Sorry to interrupt whatever grand imperial posturing you were doing. If I may have a moment, this isn't a threat. Not yet. It's a courtesy. Kor narrowed his eyes. Is this live? Adrian blinked. Yes. I can hear your feathers ruffle. Little loud, honestly. He sipped his drink. Now. Here's the thing. What you found wasn't a beacon. It was a lockpick. A backdoor we left in place after the treaties failed. You remember those, where we smiled, offered tea, and you threatened to turn Earth into a mining colony? No one responded. Adrian leaned forward slightly. Right. Didn't think so? That's okay. I didn't expect good memory retention from species with 3 brains and no spine. Quir's wings twitched. You're bluffing. Humanity's extinct. Faded after the burn wars. Adrian's brow arched. We faked a civil war. You bought it. Silence. He continued. Now let's clear a few things up. This satellite? It's not a message. It's a key. It's opening old doors across 59 star systems. And guess what lives behind those doors? Quir opened his beak to respond, then stopped. Exactly, Adrian said. You don't know. That's the fun part. Galactic Union HQ, Work Council Chamber. Veltalk had arrived, glistening with arrogance. A dozen species filled the chamber. Some ancient and wise, others twitchy and paranoid. All had heard the same signal. This is absurd, Veltalk declared. We have 1 billion ships. Earth has none. A frail, translucent being from the Numeri order whispered. The humans don't need ships. They had something else, strategy. Veltalk waved a dismissive tentacle. Strategy does not win against numbers. Another voice, deep, ancient, rumbled from a corner. It does when numbers become liabilities. The humans never fought fair. They made us bleed our own systems. Jiff piped up. Sir, permission to recommend evacuation? Veltalk turned purple. We do not run from ghosts. A 4th signal pinged. Running is wise. Stay, and I'll assume you're hostile. Your choice. Adrian. Varnic Watchtower, final moments. Quir stood unmoving, as systems rebooted themselves into new configurations. The station was no longer under his control. Sir? The comms officer whispered. What do we do? Quir's voice was tight. Send a broadcast to Central Command. What should we say? He swallowed. Tell them the humans are back. The human, Adrian Locke, didn't blink as the entire Galactic Union's emergency broadcast grid lit up with his image. Calm, deliberate, sipping black coffee like a man watching morning traffic. I know this is sudden, he said. Believe me, if I could have sent muffins and a handwritten note, I would have. But here we are. Across 100 species and 1,000 systems, governments froze. Military servers locked down. Entire fleets held their breath. The Numeri, cold and ancient, dispatched a warning pulse. Locke is alive. Protocol Hell Spike initiates. Veltalk snarled at the transmission. This can't be him. The real Adrian Locke died during the siege of Valion Prime. Vaporized. Ambassador Zeltier of the Slithari shifted nervously, his tendrils twitching. And yet there he is. Drinking coffee. They all watched. Meanwhile, the halls of Terra's Black Archive. Deep beneath old Luna's crust, in a facility the galaxy had long assumed vaporized, 2 humans sat before a wall of screens. Their badges read, Terran Strategic Corps. One leaned in. Female, sharp-eyed, silver hair tied back. Her name tag read J. Harper. She smirked. He's off script. Her partner, a large, gruff man chewing gum, grunted. That is the script. Harper tapped a few keys, watching as alien fleet responses began to shuffle. Think they'll evacuate? Does it matter? She grinned. No. Just makes the punchline better. Back on Varnic Watchtower. Commander Quir was pacing. Talons clicked across metal flooring. Adrian Locke's face was still on the main screen, now showing up simultaneously on every station-linked terminal. You're trespassing, Quir barked. This is Union territory. Adrian tilted his head. You're right. And yet your systems are behaving like mine. Odd, isn't it? Disengage your transmission or wheel. Scramble a defense grid? Fire a null beam? Scramble a panic response? Adrian leaned closer. You won't get the chance. But feel free to try. I haven't flexed in a while. The lights dimmed. Briefly. Just enough to remind them who was in control. I'm not here to destroy anything, Adrian said. But we left traps for a reason. Your species called us unstable, over-aggressive, unpredictable. You built treaties to contain us. Forced our withdrawal. Remember what you said? Quir didn't reply. You said Earth was too primitive to participate in galactic affairs. Adrian's voice dropped, the smile gone. So we stopped participating. And started watching. A pause. You didn't notice because we wanted you comfortable. Galactic Union Emergency Assembly, encrypted line. Veltalk shouted through gridded membranes. We must mobilize now. Preemptive annihilation. Every trace of Earth must be eradicated. The Zul Empress blinked slowly. You speak of exterminating a species that vanished with 3,000 warships, without leaving wreckage. And you think you'll succeed where others disappeared screaming into the dark? We have force. We have the Void Protocol. And what if, she asked gently, you're not the Apex anymore? A transmission cut through the chamber. Adrian again. Hey there. Sorry to interrupt your powwow. You're probably debating if it's worth responding to this little intrusion. Maybe you think I'm bluffing. His voice sharpened. Ask the Telari what happened when they scanned old Earth for weaknesses. Wait, actually you can't. They don't exist anymore. Took exactly 13 minutes. No one spoke. Let me simplify, this is a one-time message. We don't want war. You won't win it. We never left. We simply closed the door, bolted it from the inside, and watched through the peephole while you all bragged about your galactic dominance. He leaned back in his chair. Now we're stepping out again. Hope the furniture's still where we left it. Inside the mind of Adrian Locke. He remembered the moment Earth had gone dark. Not a retreat. A metamorphosis. The galaxy wanted simplicity. Blasters and borders. Humanity gave them bureaucracy and fake peace treaties while silently building weapons that weren't just powerful, they were poetic. Satellites laced with viral AIs. Starships made to mimic asteroids. Sleeper agents planted not to kill, but to listen. Adrian was one of the few who had remained conscious through the cold silence. Frozen in stasis, his orders clear, wake only when they forget we're predators. And they had. Now, he was here to remind them. Varnic Watchtower. Final straw. The amphibian tech muttered. Sir, incoming data spike. Quir stiffened. From where? Everywhere. Screens flickered again. Across the station, private devices buzzed, translating Adrian's signal into local dialects, popping into alien dream feeds, graffiti tagging command interfaces with one repeating line. This is your second-to-last warning. Quir slammed a claw into the desk. Initiate full system purge. The tech blinked. It already did that, sir. Ourselves. What? It wiped itself. And everything else. Left behind one protocol, standby mode. No controls. No override. A nearby console pinged softly. Locke would like to speak to you privately. Private channel, Commander Quir and Adrian Locke. Adrian's face returned, framed now by soft lighting and a massive Terran flag behind him. Commander Quir, he said, I appreciate your patience. Most officers start screaming by now. Quir gritted his beak. What do you want? Simple. I want a message delivered. Which is? Adrian leaned forward, eyes like razors. You're going to tell your union that Earth is opening its borders again. And anyone who steps in without permission gets rewritten. Quir sneered. You don't have that kind of power. Oh, Commander. Adrian smiled. We wrote your operating system. Click. The channel closed. Back in the black archive. Harper folded her arms. They'll panic. Her partner grunted. They always do. She nodded. Good. That buys us phase 2. Locke's gonna be a god to them by the end of this. No, she said, pressing a glowing control panel. He's just the decoy. The entire lunar core began to hum. Above the midline of the Zurani spiral, a coalition dreadnought floated like a cathedral of war, silent, waiting, afraid to move. Inside its nerve center, Grand Strategist Ulkerek was shaking. No signals. No anomalies. Not even neutrino bleed, his adjutant said. And yet, Ulkerek growled, we feel him. They did. The entire crew felt it, like the ship itself had grown lungs and was holding its breath. Adrian Locke wasn't on their scanners, but he was there. Somewhere. The silence was no longer peaceful. It was weaponized. Meanwhile, Earth's low orbit. Locke watched the cosmos from the edge of Terran space, hands folded behind his back, sipping from a metal thermos labeled, genuine coffee, not a bomb. Beside him floated a slender figure in an exosuit, helmet lit from within, Lieutenant Raina Kale, tactical officer, sarcasm specialist. They're running simulations again, she said. How many? 72 billion. And how many conclude with Earth losing? 0. One ends in a tie, though. They seem oddly proud of it. Adrian chuckled. That's the one where we leave voluntarily, isn't it? Yup. Cruel of us. We try. They turned, watching a star blink out in the distance. It hadn't exploded. It had been deleted. Zurani Spiral, Central Archive Node. Hunched over a dozen flickering holograms, Tlor of the Mekai analyzed recent stellar anomalies. The human signal didn't just hijack our systems, she whispered. It rewrote them. Repurposed defense logic into philosophical musings. The archives now ask questions. A nearby AI drone floated nervously. Like what kind of questions? What makes a species worthy of memory? The drone beeped. I don't like that. Neither do I. Another hologram pulsed. Data breach, origin, soul system. Content inserted, poetry. Tlor blinked. Poetry? Lines appeared. You called us chaos-wearing skin. But stars forget the shape of teeth. Now we remember. The archive went dark. Deep void relay, encrypted chat, 6 alien commanders. The secure channel buzzed with panic, each face more desperate than the last. This is psychological warfare, one barked. No, this is prophecy, hissed another. They've reactivated Luna. That thing was a myth. Locke is a myth. He drank coffee during a galactic declaration of war. An elderly Zaran general exhaled, voice brittle. You all don't get it. We were never fighting humans. We were studying them. And they've grown tired of being observed. A long silence. Then a whisper. What do they want? A new voice joined. Adrian Locke. I'll tell you what we want, he said, voice clear and uninvited. We want you to leave the system, tell your children stories of restraint, and never come back. No negotiations? Negotiations are for equals. Click. Terran Strategic Core, Sublevel Omega. Raina stepped into the observation vault. Below her, 10 massive constructs shimmered, ships shaped like nothing in known fleets. More like ideas wrapped in hulls. The Oblivion class. A tech officer turned. We're prepped. Fission core active. AI's dormant, but twitchy. Twitchy? They're humming. She tapped her comm. Locke? He responded instantly. Standing by. You sure you want to go this far? They haven't technically attacked. They hijacked the moonlight over Chicago for a week. Turned it into an ad. For what? A galactic casino. Raina winced. Activate the primaries. Meanwhile, on board the Gyrexian ambassador's ship. Ambassador Drone, an ancient cephalopod in a floating tank, trembled as his translator clicked. Are you threatening the galaxy? Adrian responded smoothly. No, Ambassador. I'm threatening you. The galaxy's just collateral. Surely you understand this path is madness. Adrian nodded. Completely. That's why we're so good at it. Your kind vanished for centuries. You could have embraced peace. We did embrace peace, Adrian said. Then we duct-taped explosives to it. Galactic broadcast, emergency feed. A transmission played everywhere, all at once. Adrian's face. Calm. Friendly. Smiling like a man about to sell you a used Star Cruiser. Hello again, he said. Quick question, how many of you remember the Treaty of Talvik? Confused murmurs echoed across ships and planets. Don't worry, nobody does. Except us. And the fine print said something delightful. If Earth is ever declared lost or inactive, all remaining clauses are null. He paused, then continued. So technically, all our agreements with your empires ended the moment you thought we were gone. Meaning? He smiled wider. We owe you nothing. The feed ended with coordinates. The heart of Earth's solar defense grid. Back at Earth, the reveal. In orbit, the solar grid pulsed. For centuries it had lain dormant, hidden in asteroid belts and disguised as space debris. Now it came alive. Each node, a false moon, cloaked satellite, or disguised freighter, rotated into alignment. Lines formed. Symbols emerged. From above, Earth no longer looked like a planet. It looked like a trigger. Inside the black archive. Harper lit a cigar. They're scrambling. Any actual attacks? Just a lot of threatening posture. Even their most aggressive fleets are holding. Why? She turned the screen. Because we let them see this. A hologram spun, a projection of everything humans had done in the last 5 centuries. Not conquest. Not war. But positioning. Every colony a dead-end trap. Every lost ship, an embedded AI. Every failure, intentional. A single phrase blinked in Terran Standard. We never disappeared. We just made you stop looking. Zurani's spiral, final panic. Okerek watched as his dreadnought's systems flickered. Internal diagnostics failed. Lights pulsed blood red. One word echoed through every device. Lock. His voice broke. What do we do? A junior officer whispered. We retreat. But we're the mighty. We retreat. Or we become a footnote. Final scene, Adrian and Reyna watching the stars. The stars twinkled above. Adrian leaned back, arms behind his head. They're pulling out. Reyna nodded. For now. He sipped his coffee. That's all we needed. Think they'll come back? He shrugged. Eventually. Curiosity's hard to kill. Reyna grinned. So are we. They laughed. Behind them, Earth slept. But the system watched. Silently. Patiently. Time, 0300 hours, location, unknown quadrant, human black site L9. Adrian Locke stood in a chamber with no lights, no displays, no visible doors. Just silence and cold, real cold. Not the kind that makes you shiver, but the kind that makes sound die. That erases thought. A voice broke the stillness. It didn't echo. It absorbed. You sure they're ready? Another voice answered. Reyna. They're not. That's the point. The floor lit up. Beneath Adrian, a 3-dimensional projection expanded, a blueprint of the galaxy with entire sectors blacked out. Territories erased. Systems collapsed. Not by war. Not by disease. By disappearance. Adrian tapped a small red dot. Activate Echo Phase. Galactic Union High Command, Emergency Assembly, 11 minutes later. Dozens of species argued in overlapping languages. Some clicked, others whined, others emitted scents. All of them shouted. Earth was a cultural curiosity. They were primitive. They were waiting. Ambassador Drone floated forward. You're all missing it. Humans never hid. They just let us forget. A skeptical reptilian admiral snorted. One system can't destabilize the galaxy. Drone didn't blink, He had no eyelids. You're not thinking small enough. He displayed intercepted footage, Terran children playing chess on a school roof. The game ended. A 7-year-old girl leaned in and whispered, "Checkmate." At that moment, a mining station in the Tau Theta cluster went dark. 3,000 personnel gone. No debris. Scene shift, Adrian and Reyna, aboard the denier. "You sure this'll work?" Reyna asked. Adrian raised an eyebrow. "What? Us telling them nothing while making them fear everything?" "Right. Classic parenting technique. Works on empires, too." She smirked. The ship dropped from warp. Before them floated the anathema station, thought abandoned centuries ago. It wasn't. From inside, signals pulsed, alien, ancient, and Terran. Reyna frowned. "When did we get control of that?" Adrian didn't look away. "We never lost it." Flashback, Earth's fall 270 years ago. Humanity hadn't vanished. They'd restructured. Pulled back every ambassador. Shut down interstellar trade. Let rumors of collapse spread. Because everyone feared death. But no one feared disinterest. And so Earth became a ghost. Forgotten. Dismissed. And from behind the veil, they observed. Analyzed. Prepared. Zurani spiral, final signal intercept. In the core of the Zurani military command network, a corrupted data packet unfurled. No virus. No code. Just a sentence. "We didn't want to win. We wanted you to choose survival." It was signed, "The Children of Earth." The core AI collapsed. Back on the denier. Reyna flicked through holographic reports. "They're collapsing their borders. Retreating even from neutral zones." Adrian nodded. "Expected. Why?" "Because this isn't war. It's theater." Reyna tilted her head. "And the climax?" Adrian smiled. "I show them what we've really been building." Scene, Inner Soul System, reveal of Project Mirror. Inside the asteroid belt, disguised as mining operations, thousands of interconnected satellites realigned. Lasers pulsed across vacuum. They weren't weapons. They were mirrors. Reyna gasped as the feed came online. What is that?" Adrian whispered. "The truth. Projected across subspace. A complete, real-time map of galactic life. Not just planets. Not just ships. Thoughts. Every moment of paranoia. Every whisper. Every fear. Recorded. Reflected. Displayed. Surveillance grid?" Reyna asked. "No," Adrian said. "A message." Message played galaxy-wide. Adrian Locke's face again. "We watched you lie. We watched you steal. We watched you prepare for war against those who only tried to connect." He leaned forward. "You feared what you didn't understand. So we let you not understand us. And now..." He stood up. "Now you realize we were never gone. We were just behind the mirror." The projection cut. Immediate reaction. Total collapse of coalition fleet intelligence. Ships turned against themselves. Commanders doubted their own crew. Scanners began detecting ghost fleets, phantoms of Terran ships. Half real. Half meant to be believed. Admiral Zirl shouted into the void. "This is illusion! Trickery!" His ship exploded mid-broadcast. No weapon signatures. On board denier, final stage. Reyna stood frozen. You're bluffing, right?" Adrian didn't answer. Instead, he opened a hatch. Below it, a Terran AI core, proto-sentient. "We named it Polite Conversation," he said. "It watches. It learns. And when it speaks, things vanish." He tapped it. "Hello?" the core said gently. "Would you like to disengage your existence?" Reyna winced. "You never planned to fight them." "No. You just needed them to believe." Adrian smiled thinly. "Fear is the best diplomat." The real mission. Earth had never been preparing for defense. They'd been building interruption capacity, ways to disrupt communication, economy, faith, memory. Not conquerors. Saboteurs of belief. One by one, empires began to fragment, not from human attack, but from human implication. Every unexplained glitch, every rumor, every anomaly, now traced back to one name: Adrian Locke. Final scene: Intergalactic Tribunal, months later. A court of thousands debated Earth's status. Dangerous? Possibly. Invincible? Not confirmed. Terrifying? Absolutely. A final motion was passed. Earth is to be quarantined. Not for punishment, but for containment. Closing scene: Earth, quietly watching. In a mountain base, Adrian poured tea. Reyna sat beside him, watching stars shift on the horizon. You think they'll stay gone? She asked. Adrian took a slow sip. No, he said. But they'll remember the silence. He raised his cup. To peace. To the illusion of it, Reyna added. They clinked. Far above, a Terran satellite turned slightly and listened.